And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be welcoming Brendan and Nathan from What Were They Thinking? And God damn it. We're going to be talking about the Cartoon All-Stars PSA, which if you've never watched it, I watched it earlier today, and Jesus God, I forgot how fucked up the early 90s were. Wow. But anyway, let's go ahead and let's get them in here. I was going to say, do I not have their logo? Yes, I do. Okay, there we go. Let's go ahead and move them into the channel. Bam.
Goodness.
Bam.
Biggity bam.
Biggity bam. Welcome, gentlemen, to the live stream for The Cure. What?
Oh my God. Came out of nowhere.
We're not ready. Like an RKO. It's out of nowhere.
Put us back in the group.
So what I'm actually going to do as a little treat, a visual treat for our audience.
Oh, delightful.
Whatever, YouTube, flag this shitty video for copyright all you want. I'm going to put this in the live stream down in the window so you can see what this PSA was all about.
Oh, you'll be happy to know, as a PSA, I believe it is free of rights.
Boom. We're just trying to save the kids from the drugs.
Right.
Or if you read the comments in that are hilarious. It's like, all I want to do is take drugs now and see all my favorite cartoon characters to come to life. But gentlemen, first things first, since I think it's kind of necessary to get into what we're going to talk about here, why don't you tell us a little bit about What Were They Thinking and what you guys do on the show?
Sure. Well, I'm Brendan.
And I'm Nathan.
And basically we have, it's a weekly show. So every other week we do terrible to at least questionable movie. Basically break it down from start to finish. Do a little bit of poetry. Read some nasty critics and some oddly positive critics reviews. And then the other off weeks, we have mini episodes. So we'll answer questions. We'll do, talk about recent movies that have come out, or, something that looks terrible that's on the horizon that we both really want to see.
Sometimes an interview.
Yes, sometimes an interview. We've had people from the room on the podcast before. Director of American Ninja came by. That was cool.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. Yeah. Yeah. What were they thinking? We're everywhere.
Cheep. Oh my God. And well, gentlemen,
yes.
Why did you decide to talk about the Cartoon All-Stars public service thingy here? We're watching Alf and Garfield. Alf wasn't even a cartoon, so it was weird.
Yes, it was. Yeah, it was actually.
Oh, that's right. Wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was after the series, though, right?
It was like they did Alf and then Alf Tales.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Like DuckTales with Alf?
Yeah, but it wasn't. It was fairy tales and whatnot. So they'd do Hansel and Gretel or Little Red Riding Hood, but they'd replace them all with like Melmac characters.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
The funny thing is, you said why pick this one. Actually, just before you brought us on the air, Nathan found something out that's fascinating. So, go ahead, Nathan.
The original air date for this cartoon was just a minute late, as that it was aired originally in the U.S. on April 21st. So 4/21.
Oh my God.
There's no way that was unintentional.
There is a point in this PSA, and we'll get to it, and I'll probably shout it out when we get to it, because they take legitimately half of the PSA is just introducing all of the cartoon characters.
Yes.
And then the other half of it is legitimately the craziest fucking trip of all time.
It makes you feel like you're on drugs.
It does.
Really
it does.
does.
I actually have that in my notes.
And just to celebrate the fact that we are talking about an anti-drug and alcohol PSA, Nathan and I are both drinking, so that's good.
Yes.
Well, hang on. Wait a minute.
Oh, shit.
I'm back. Puke and rally. Woo! Give me
What are you drinking, gentlemen?
I am drinking a nice Moosehead Lager brewed here in the Maritimes, Union Made trademark.
And I am a total beer snob here with my can of Budweiser.
See, at least I'm drinking Canadian.
Yeah.
God damn. I haven't had a beer. I'm waiting for the stream break because I got to reset. After this segment, actually, fans, we are going to be resetting the stream before we get into our Tarantino retrospective. So just keep that in mind. So chat, you're going to want to stay where you are because we're going to be resetting the stream. It'll take just about 5 minutes or so, and then we'll be online to do Tarantino. But gentlemen, I don't even know how to start dissecting this fucking thing.
Well, I'm going to let you know that you'd ask why we chose this. Now, Brendan told me that we were doing these in like half hour or so increment blocks.
True.
So normally when we do our show, we unpack the movie. So it usually takes us about the runtime of the movie to do that. So we were like, how are we going to do that in this situation? And then I immediately thought of this cartoon because it is so bonkers that I remember seeing it as a kid and thinking it was kind of neat because all my favorite cartoon characters were in it. But then flash forward to about probably 20 years later, I watched it on about 420 and was just, this is, they told us to not do drugs by watching this.
My favorite thing, they just showed the shot of the chipmunks and Alf under the bed looking at the drugs. And
marijuana.
Why do they need an ace bandage to do marijuana?
I don't know.
What is that? What is happening?
It looks like he has 2 muffins in there.
Yes.
I'm like, oh, I don't understand half of the paraphernalia in that box because that's all they're like. They're like, yeah, it's just dope.
I don't understand why the kid was stealing money for drugs. He clearly has them.
Well, I think the most horrifying part of this cartoon is that it begins with George Bush.
Yes, and Barbara Bush and their dog Millie.
George, I don't know about you guys, but I thought he looked blitzed out of his mind.
Well, I mean,
he may have been.
Don't forget, he was the first Republican president, or the only president actually to introduce a medical marijuana bill and get it passed, right? So there you go.
Well,
he may have been down with the icky sticky.
Look, marijuana is going to be
son
just
is probably
fine.
just
John
off.
Boehner's pimping for big dope on the Hill now, so.
Yep.
Well, you know, the Bush Jr. was just off camera giggling the whole time. So
This is hilarious. I hope I get to meet Alf.
Oh, so yeah, I'm glad I'm not the only one that was disturbed while I watched this. You know what I thought? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
That was for me, and like this is one of the funniest things I thought about this whole thing. Like they couldn't come up with like a bad like villain cartoon character to have be the drug thing. It's just this random like smoky looking ghost guy.
Played by George C. Scott.
I was about to say George C. fucking Scott.
Your villain
in this.
They couldn't put like the Shredder in here. Like they had the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. They couldn't do like the Shredder or like some bad villain or Here Comes Bugs Bunny. So they do like Yosemite Sam. Yosemite Sam looks like he would probably do crack.
The villain is drugged out of his mind.
But here's the thing that got me the most about Bugs Bunny telling, and even Daffy Duck telling people not to do drugs. I'm pretty sure both of those characters were born out of drugs.
One of the comments I read in the YouTube video on the post for this was, why wasn't Shaggy and Scooby in the wink, 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 wink. Danny Gooden, $34.90. He says he's a big fan of you guys. Just donated a live stream for the cure. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you.
That's awesome. Thanks.
Yeah,
you know what I
Shaggy
thought was
and Scooby in this?
What I thought was actually kind of disturbing, and I'm surprised they didn't go with it. So right at the beginning, Nathan was saying earlier before we came on here that Kermit is like in a nightmare world because he's a clock.
Right?
He's an alarm clock. But wouldn't it have been great if like the piggy bank was Miss Piggy?
That she would have gotten killed by the brother.
The burnout is just smashing the piggy bank and just like horrifyingly murdering Miss Piggy in front of Kermit.
My favorite part about Miss
Piggy,
Piggy
help,
in this
I'll
is that
help
she
you.
just shows up. Like Kermit's actually a clock, but she just randomly shows up like in the middle of it.
Yeah, but at the first, Kermit's the clock, and then later he's not a clock. He's just in a hallucination.
Why do the Muppet Babies know what weed is? I have to know.
You've
And
clearly
why-
never seen any of the early Jim Henson productions.
I mean, if you look at the
It
Saturday
does
Night
make
Live
sense that they
Muppets,
had
maybe.
Theodore, the chipmunk, the smart chipmunk, explain what he thought it was.
Simon. Yeah.
Oh, Simon. Yeah, sorry. Theodore's the
Marijuana.
short, like, weird one.
Oh, when he said marijuana, I was like, that blew my mind.
Marijuana. Like, he's so deliberate about it.
Also, like, wow, they really hammered it. Like, I feel like every kid that watched this at the time would know pretty much every cartoon character and what they're like. Like, you have a fairly good knowledge of what everyone's like. But, I mean, Garfield makes no less than 3 or 4 lasagna references.
That was so shoehorned.
Egregious, because, like, he's like, the only sound more recognizable than a breaking piggy is the crackling of lasagna. That's a stretch, Garfield.
There's a lot of that in this thing, because I feel like the creators of these cartoons only agreed to have them in the PSA as long as they got to be like drop a few of their own catchphrases and whatnot. Because there's a number of different moments in this where there's just characters just doing that.
Cowabunga, dude. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, God.
I'm literally surprised they didn't have like a little bumper come up every time a character came on screen that said what time their cartoon was on.
That would have been very helpful.
Well, that would have been helpful, but it probably would have been really hard to do because this was simulcast. When
That's
it
right.
originally aired, it aired on all 3 major networks in the States, and in Canada, it aired on CBC, CTV, and Global, which are our major networks. And
Interrupted
we didn't.
Tales, dropping
we
a
didn't-
donation in the chat and said, "Stay away from the quote lasagna, kids." Thank you very much, Interrupted Tales. Continuing to drop some donos on us throughout the night. Thank you very much. We really, really appreciate it.
And you guys in the States, you guys got the intro by George Bush and Barbara Bush and Millie, and we got our Canadian Prime Minister, the big chinned schlub known as Brian Mulrooney, as doing our intros for us on 421.
Oh my God.
I'm so disappointed I didn't find that intro.
Yes, Matt Pierce, Lorenzo Music did the voice of Garfield in this.
Yep.
Yeah,
What's that?
that's one of the better things about this, because as somebody that grew up like at this time, like I was a kid, and like, you know, I was born in 1980, so a lot of these are like the voice actors that I grew up with. So I at least got, while I watched this, and I was like, like at least I got to be like a little tinge of nostalgia, at least, from getting to kind of revisit some of these characters.
Yeah, it was a nice thing that they actually did manage to get everybody who did the voices on the shows to be on the shows. Although it was kind of a jip that they only got Michelangelo, but I feel he was the only one that was kind of in relation to the subject matter at hand.
One thing I wrote down here, I guess we should kind of mention the basic plot. It's just a guy who's addicted to drugs, every drug apparently, and
Not crack yet.
Not crack yet. But he breaks his
and that's the scene that's
sister's-
on the screen right now. The crack scene.
He breaks his sister's piggy bank, and of course the first thing he says is, "There must be $20 in here, easy." There's like 20 nickels. Like, maybe.
They must all
And
be
then-
silver dollars.
There you go.
The other thing is Alf making like a Leave It to Beaver reference.
Yes, because
I
all the
really-
kids in the 90s were big on Wally and the Beav.
But basically, these cartoon characters, I think this story is really just about a bunch of cartoon characters freaking this guy that's high, just freaking him out more throughout the process.
Right?
As the cartoon progresses, yeah. Just like taking him on like psychedelic journeys into his own brain, and like
There's no way.
it's insane.
I have to ask, and I'll ask you guys, I'll ask people in the chat, has anyone ever watched this high? Because this
Yes,
has
me.
to be the greatest thing ever. and you're just baked out of your gourd.
I feel like you might find it very judgmental, though.
Oh, these cartoons are super judgy.
All right, Bill, gentlemen, I hate to interrupt.
Oh,
but we actually have to roll the prize wheel. Bill Sutton checking in with a $25
Holy
89-cent donation. Let me go ahead and bam. Let's get over in the chat. Everybody who wants to enter the contest right now, hashtag what were they thinking? Hashtag what were they thinking? And the winner is going to get some Epic Film Guys stickers. Go ahead and throw it over there, baby.
What?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Continue.
To answer your question, yes, me. I'd say a little under 10 years ago, a friend of mine and I were talking about this movie or this cartoon PSA or whatever, and we were like, wouldn't it be great if we got lit like a Christmas tree and watched this cartoon? And, we were in our 20s, so we're like, well, we need to make that happen then. And we made that happen pretty quickly, actually. And we felt really judged by Garfield and Elf.
I love how Alf has to like bully Garfield into participating.
He threatens to eat him.
Yeah, right.
Yes. The only way Garfield's going to help this kid get off drugs is because he doesn't want to get eaten by Alf.
That is very, very true. And once again, remember, everybody, if you want a chance at some Epic Film Guys stickers right now, hashtag what were they thinking over in the chat? Get it in there. And yeah, I did love that. I was like, but of course, Alf did eat cats. So
okay, well, yeah. And first of all, Elf comes out of a framed picture that this girl has on her dresser for some reason. A framed picture of Elf for some reason. And then tears a light out of Garfield's back.
Yeah, Garfield is a lamp, I think.
Yeah.
He is, yes.
The thing is with this cartoon is it wasn't just cartoon characters coming to life like out of the cartoon like the Smurfs did. They come out of a comic book. But Garfield springs to life as a lamp. Kermit the Frog springs to life as an alarm clock. Alf comes out of a framed picture. Winnie the Pooh is actually a Pooh Bear that she sleeps with. Like,
okay.
And apparently the chipmunks live in their records.
Can I say?
I think it's almost time for the song. Huey, Dewey, and Louie.
Can I say
with the ducks?
How disturbed I was by Winnie the Pooh like waking up next to her in bed.
Oh bother!
That was a little strange.
At least he didn't be like, "Oh bother! I can't believe I did it again."
Oh god. That was like the morning after for one of Winnie the Pooh's toured affairs. Like that's what it looked like to me.
Did you guys find it interesting that Ron Swanson is basically the dad?
Oh my god, you're right.
And how much time? So they say at the top it's about drugs and alcohol. He's like, I think I have a couple beers. He probably drank it during a football game. Oh, okay. That must be it.
And they tell me that works fine.
Oh my god.
We gotta talk about George C. Scott as the drug ghost.
Let's.
That's the most baffling aspect of this production for me.
Because do you notice that
sometimes George C. Scott is?
Do you notice that sometimes he was able to go through walls, and sometimes you could hit him with a garbage can?
You're right.
Inconsistency.
No logic whatsoever. Yeah. I demand logistical consistency in my anti-drug PSAs for children.
Exactly. Glad we're on the same page.
This must be some. Can we get a meth head in the chat or something to like sing this song to watch this while this because it's gotta be.
There's a million ways to say no.
No way! Get out!
Composed by Alan Menken.
His best work.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I don't think anyone was going to argue with you there.
There's actually a line in that song where Kermit says, "Next time your friends say, let's get wrecked."
He does! Baby Kermit.
Baby Kermit.
He is a young child.
Oh my god.
You're right. It's not even adult Kermit. It's Muppet Baby Kermit.
Yeah.
Oh my
Well,
god. I want to call
and
an
at
end to this really quick here, ladies and gentlemen. Last call over in the chat. Hashtag what were they thinking? I'm going to be drawing in just a couple of moments here.
what was Bugs Bunny gonna say when Alf covers his mouth?
I got nothing. Well,
I thought he was.
What's
I
up,
thought-
Doc?
Okay, I think because the way I heard like truck or something, and I thought Bugs Bunny was just gonna drop the F bomb.
Yeah, no, he Alf steals Bugs Bunny's line.
What a bastard!
Well, he's Alf, right?
Well, the elf
Have you heard any of
pulls
the
the kid into the box of drugs.
Okay, first of all, why did he have a mirror in his stash box? That's just poor planning, that is.
Wait, remember this is all over the place, but it's fine. Remember when he's hanging out with his like quote unquote friends, and there's right at the beginning when they go to that scene, the girl with like the hipster hat says, "We can score some crack for $10."
She does not look like she's fallen that far.
How much crack are you
great
getting
deal.
for $10? I mean, I'm not a crackhead, but
Well, that was the
If we
thing
have any
about crack
crackheads in
is
the
that-
chat, please let us know what crack is going for these days.
yeah, please. I like.
No, it was
I'm
the
asking for a
90s.
friend.
That's
Crack
true.
was
Can you please tell us the
inexpensive.
street value of crack in 1990?
There you go.
Fucking Bill Clinton.
George Bush. He was the president.
Clinton ruined it in '92.
Oh my god!
So to
He
answer
said
your
it was
question,
price of crack skyrocketing.
Oh, do we have an answer on the crack?
no,
I
not
thought-
about the crack.
Oh, I
God
got
damn
excited.
it.
There's a
Bloody
mirror
sauce.
in his stash box because that's where he lays out the cocaine.
Oh, of course. What was that? See, I'm only used to
What were
a
you
pod stash
thinking?
box. Right, exactly.
But there was only marijuana in the box, Loy sauce,
Nope.
And don't forget, and muffins.
and
And muffins. And cocaine.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's go ahead here really, really quickly. It's time to draw the winner of some Epic Film Guys stickers. Let's go ahead and pull it out here. Bill Sutton, who donated to get that
Congratulations.
prize wheel roll. So I guess that's as fitting as anything else. Bill Sutton, winner of some Epic Film Guys stickers. Congratulations, Bill.
Cheers to you, Bill.
Oh no,
Hey,
I'm
Bill.
almost out of beer. So there's a roller coaster through the human brain.
Oh my! And Gonzo is a brain artist.
Maybe I did watch this high. I'm not sure.
No, that's what happens
Oh, okay.
because
I
then they
figure
get
that's
stuck.
just its disorienting nature.
Because when they finally do manage to get out of his smoke-filled brain, he's then encountered by talking ducks. So he's clearly still tripping balls.
But now we're
And,
watching. Now it's like the end of it where he's like legitimately going through like just this crazy, like tripped out sequence of crazy shit. Like this would be the hilarious part.
Oh, have you got to the
watch.
zombie kid yet?
No, I don't know if we're there yet. I don't think we've
Okay.
gotten there.
Because as actually, you know what? As it gets to that point, he says, "You look like Freddy Krueger." When he looks like he's.
Oh
a
my
zombie.
god, what if Freddy Krueger was part of the cartoon All-Stars lineup?
That would have been
That's
great.
one
They
for
could,
Alf.
they could have got Freddy and
need to kick the
Jason,
Welcome to prime
time, bitch.
Michael Myers, Swamp Thing. Is that a thing? I think that's a
Actually, Swamp Thing was a cartoon. Yeah.
There you
Swamp
go.
Thing is a thing.
RoboCop.
Ah.
Get RoboCop in there.
This cartoon is so stupid.
I only wish the Alien cartoon had come to fruition.
So here's a
Oh.
here's a question.
They
for you
made
guys,
toys
'cause
for
we're
the
wrapping
Aliens
out on this
cartoon.
thing here pretty quickly. So if this were to happen today,
Oh my god.
what cartoon characters would you love to see in the 2018 reboot of the Cartoon All Stars PSA?
Phineas and Ferb. Harry the
Absolutely
Platypus.
SpongeBob SquarePants.
There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah, he's still a thing.
Well, you
Um,
definitely need to have what's the snail's name?
Gary the Snail?
Definitely Gary, because doesn't he talk like really slow or something?
No, meow.
Oh. Okay,
Yeah.
I maybe don't watch enough SpongeBob.
I think you're
don't.
probably thinking of the sloth from Zootopia.
He would have to be, yeah, for
Huey,
sure.
Dewey, and Louie, because the DuckTales reboot is a thing.
DuckTales
Yeah,
is
it
timeless.
is.
And
Yeah.
even if that
Milo Murphy from Milo Murphy's Law. I have kids, so I know cartoons.
I was gonna say I don't watch a lot of like modern cartoons, so I'm not sure. Can we include like animated films?
Sure.
Why not?
Sure.
Let's throw some of the Pixar people in there. Maybe all the emotions from Inside
Lightning McQueen.
Yeah.
There's the zombie kid.
The Emoji Movie.
Oh
No.
God.
Fuck that movie.
Bill says Peppa Pig. Patrick Sherman says Rick and Morty.
Good call, guys. Good call.
Peppa
Bill.
Pig would be funny.
I was gonna say Timmy Turner, but I feel like Fairly Odd Parents is already like a really trippy show, so I feel like just that's overkill. Adding Timmy Turner and the fairies like Wanda and Cosmo, because Cosmo's got to be high all the time. Legit.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
How about Duckman?
Okay. For cartoons,
Duckman. What decade is this?
Oh well, it's the only one I can think of. All the South Park characters can be in there.
Oh, that would be
my
Towley.
God.
Towley.
Yeah,
you imagine Towley in this? I think you should probably do some more drugs.
Towley would be what George C. Scott is in this cartoon.
There you go. That'd be perfect.
But Towley could be voiced by George C. Scott. Oh wait, he's dead. Never mind. Sorry. I apologize
Hey,
to George C. Scott.
Legitimately the world's best George C. Scott impersonator, and we'd be fine.
Sorry.
Now he's throwing away the bad drugs. Get away, George C. Scott.
We gotta go talk to mom and dad, because middle America mom and dads are super great when they find out their kids are on the drugs.
The sausage
drugs.
from a sausage
The
party,
drugs,
Bill
yeah.
said.
Sausage from Sausage Party.
There's a whole long sequence in that movie where they just get baked.
The toilet paper from that movie, when it walks out of the room and says like, "Where have you been?" He's like, "You don't want to fucking know."
Oh my god. Oh, the PS.
Wait, so the smoke.
Wrapping up here. Go ahead.
If you watch the credits for the PSA, the recording studio or the recording, I don't know, people, it was Buzzy's Recordings or Buzzy's Recording Studio or something like that.
It's just like a dude on like,
Yeah.
it was like a backlot somewhere.
Yeah, and
Also,
then one of
executive
the
producer
other
for
like the
Disney.
production assistants was Buzz Potemkin.
Now that's a name.
Yeah.
I wish my name was Buzz Potemkin.
All these cartoon characters are fucking narcs.
I just gotta say, as an overall thing, cartoon characters that clearly do drugs should not be telling kids not to do drugs.
Bugs
I
Bunny
agree.
and Daffy Duck.
Exactly.
Pooh Bear definitely does drugs.
It's
This
very
really made me want to
hypocritical.
do drugs, like, and
The
watch
Muppet-
this cartoon.
The Muppet Babies are all cokeheads. Let's face it.
No way,
Gonzo.
no way Gonzo's not brushing some white powder off of his snout.
You don't
Did you
get
see
it.
that in the credits? Wang Productions.
Oh my god! Well, gentlemen, this has been an absolute blast. This was really, really hilarious.
I'm glad we could
hilarious to
share
watch.
this with the world.
Yeah.
So
Exactly.
I really, really, really appreciate you guys coming on and bringing the cartoon all-star. Yes.
Well, they're to the rescue. They're going to rescue us.
Oh my
From drugs.
Guys-
Some more beer,
Don't do drugs, guys.
but drink lots of beer.
Yeah.
Just don't
Everybody-
let Ron know you stole his.
Oh, I just spit beer everywhere.
Let our audience know where they can find What Were They Thinking.
Yeah, you can find us on Podbean, www.ttpodcast.podbean.com. You can also find us on basically everywhere, iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, Spotify, and Twitter, WWTT Podcast. Instagram, you can find us on the same thing. We're on Facebook. Just search What Were They Thinking, and I think that's about it.
Don't forget all the ones that you made up, Brendan.
No, yeah, with all the fake ones, like the Al Jazeera Network, too. We're on
The
there.
Teddy Ruxpin Appreciation Society.
Yeah. Human Sentai
my
Pod.
God.
Podkit Knife.
Oh my god. Well, thank you, gentlemen, very, very much for being on the show. Ladies and gentlemen, coming up next on the show is a retrospective on the films of Quentin Tarantino.